all new Trailhunter on this 6th gen 4Runner. Here it is, and check out this color. This is the new Everest color. It's got a little greenish blue hue to it. It's definitely got lots of eye-catching capabilities, and that's what you want on a Trailhunter, the first ever, right? We just had the all-new TRD Pro. Make sure to check out that video. But there are 9 trim levels of the 4Runner. And here is the limited model, one of the best selling. I believe these are 20-inch wheels. This is the first time I'm seeing both of these trucks, and I'm gonna do my best to maybe break down some of the differences between the two. Gold Toyota Heritage lettering with that 360 camera. Of course, you have that wide LED light bar that's sandwiched right between these amazing rigid fog lights down below. Speaking down below, what are we packing? Yes, we have a nice skid plate, and if it's like the Tacoma, it keeps going back and back and back and back and back. And that's what you want as you're going around some sketchy trails here and there. I love how it's propped up on the rock here. Toyota staged it quite beautifully. Climbing up here, you got iForce Max on the hood. If you missed my previous video, the iForce Max from the Tacoma carries over. 2.4 turbo, 8-speed auto with a 50 horsepower electric motor. Gives us 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque, but you can get it without the hybrid. For example, on this Limited, which you can get the hybrid on this Limited, but this one is not hybrid. This gives you the 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque, still with the 8-speed automatic. Now the Limited can also come in full-time 4x4 all the time, but you can also get these 4Runners in rear-wheel drive only if you don't need that 4-wheel drive capabilities, things like that. But let's get into this Trailhunter. There's lots of flair going on. 33-inch tires, and look at these beautiful 18-inch bronze wheels. They look so good, taken right out of the Tacoma. That Trailhunter badge with the compass, love it, looks great. We got the sliders here, and these sliders are a lot different. They're more of a tubular design compared to like that running board that we had on the TRD Pro. Let me know if you guys like these tubular ones a little bit better. Now, the TRD Pro had glossy fenders here, and this has just kind of like this sparkly matte finish. It's not completely just like devoid of depth. It has a little sparkle to it, even though it's matte. It's kind of like a matte sparkly black. It looks pretty good. I got this really nice Trailhunter badged roof rack here. Feels super sturdy. I don't have any numbers in terms of like, you know, how much weight you could put up there, for example. I like the dimensions here on this rear spoiler now. And yes, the rear windshield wiper is tucked up underneath, and you can fold down that rear window from back here. The Toyota lettering's all blacked out here. This is kind of like a matte or a glossy finish, but it's not this sparkly finish that we hear that's almost like rough. It's a little sandpaper like, and this is more of that smooth finish. 4Runner blacked out at the bottom. I think it looks pretty good blacked out. You got the iForce Max badge here and that Beyond Zero Toyota logo. You got some parking sensors, big spare tire underneath. And yes, if you guys didn't mention, if you watch my TRD Pro video, it is made in the Tahara plant in Japan. And looking at the taillights, they definitely look like the next generation of the 5th generation's taillights, okay? Lifting up the lift gate here, see a couple cameras there. Now, the hybrid models do not have a 3rd row, just 2 rows only here. You can see you can flip up the seats as well for easier access to the rear. So when you're putting your coolers and refrigerators, I don't know, your mattresses, whatever you guys are doing back here, you have an option to flip that up. We have a tire inflator as well as 2 USB-Cs here, a 12-volt adapter. This thing's pretty cool. It's very similar to the apparatus we see in some of the other Toyota F platform trucks with like this tire inflator. I really like it. JBL sound system here on this Trailhunter. AC 2400 watts here of a continuous power supply. That hybrid powertrain with the 1.87 kilowatt bipolar nickel metal hydride battery is able to help out with that power delivery. We'll get into the interior in a little bit, but just like the Tacoma Trailhunter, we have Old Man Emu and ARB teaming together with the rear shocks as well as the front shocks. I didn't mention this, but we have a recovery hook back here. We don't have the ARB bumper like we have on the Tacoma Trailhunter, for example, this is more of that traditional look on the 4Runner. So we come around to the front. Look at this beautiful Trailhunter bronze finish here to the top control arm. And I believe Old Man Emu shocks up front as well. Now we have an air collector here, right? Your intake to source clean air all the way up to the top. So you're not bringing a lot of dusty air and dirtying up your, your air filter unnecessarily when you're on the trail. So this is beautiful to have to get that clean air into the system. And the finish of the side mirrors is the same finish that we have on the fenders too. This interior, it's kind of like a bluish gray with this stone finish Trailhunter badge here instead of like the TRD badge that we saw earlier. I love the Toyota lettering here. You know, the TRD Pro does this in like kind of like an orangish red. Here it's like a really rich, I would say like cheddar cheese sort of color with that yellow stitching. This feels really nice with the leather around the glove box. Look at these perforated and ventilated seats here. Very, very comfy. Honestly, they're just like the Tacoma, I believe. We do not have a sunroof in here, unlike the TRD Pro. The TRD Pro has a sunroof, and that actually, in the TRD Pro, there's a much bigger drop down, I believe, for that sunroof to give it space. So there's more headroom here in the second row, I would say. A side USB devices here, and notice how high this is. In the TRD, you had that running board. Here, you're gonna need big legs. Luckily, I have long legs to get into how this is set up right here. So let's go ahead and turn it on. JBL audio with a removable speaker that we saw on the Tacoma. Very cool feature. Digital rearview mirror, so that means you have the trail camera. Looking at the steering wheel here, we don't have any of that fancy TRD attention. Even though we have it on the doors, we don't have it on the shifter like we have on the TRD Pro. We don't have like the Trailhunter badge. That would have been a nice addition here, but that's all right as well. I love the functional knobs, the heated and ventilated seat buttons, large volume knob. That makes me so happy. Huge 14-inch touchscreen. You'll have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and the JBL speakers look good here. And then here's that grab handle. I probably could have used that to help myself get in, but maybe next time. A couple cup holders here. There's a nice Easter egg of the 4Runner in the glove box. It is felt lined. And look at these really cool, kind of like a map on these nice all-weather floor mats, these rubber mats. The Trailhunter logo, 4Runner logo, topography plus grids going on. Love that attention to detail. It's very, very rugged and makes you feel like the designers put a lot of thought into this when you see small details like that, even on the floor mats. So let's get ahead and go ahead in the back seat. Pretty nice materials back here as well. Let's flip this guy down. There's your first aid kit for the 4Runner. And here's the lever on the side. I love the easy access and the Velcro to the child seat latches. This is honestly like Lexus quality with what I'm seeing right here. So very well done, Toyota, with your attention to detail with your child seat latches and that nice flap. Got that great piping here on the side as well as the stitching. And like the plug-in in the back, we have an additional one right here and 2 USBs as well as 2 vents here in the back seat. Again, more of that attention to detail with the Trailhunter logo here on these rear mats. And I've got a grab handle. Let's pull myself in. Okay. Yeah, I would say it's just maybe an inch or two more of leg space compared to the Tacoma, which feels like a lot. The Tacoma is pretty cramped, but honestly, it's not that much bigger than the Tacoma here in the second row seats. If you want a third row seats, like I said, you cannot get it in the hybrid. But I'm gonna shut this guy down and we need to go straight on over to this Heritage Blue. That's right, Heritage Blue on a limited. Let's check this guy out. Now, these lights here turn amber, and notice we have 4Runner here in the headlights, but the daytime running light turns amber. It looks really, really nice. And these top lights for your nighttime lights, they look like they have a lot of similarities that we see also in the Sequoia and the Tundra. Just like the interesting, I didn't have it over here, but I have these functional air slots that we see also on the Tacoma. And like the Tacoma, we have a big air dam, and I would be happy to take that off if I owned this, but we also have some recovery hooks that are easy to access down here. But this thing, I'm sure, wouldn't take much to take off, just like the Tacoma. Of course, we don't have it over there on the Trailhunter. I just noticed, I couldn't read it when I was that close, but it says Trailhunter right here. Again, more attention to detail. And again, a recovery hook here. And there's the Old Man Emu shock there that looks really, really nice. All right, so we know the limited. These look stereotypical limited Toyota 4Runner wheels. They have maybe a little bit different design and finish than we've seen in the past, but it fits right in cue here with this model. Now, pretty standard shocks here compared to what we had the Old Man Emu or the Fox shocks possibly on the TRD Pro. Limited badge, and we have paint matched door handles and paint matched wheel surrounds. Let me know if you prefer the paint matched wheel surrounds compared to the contrasting ones that we have on the Trailhunter as well as the TRD Pro. I'm okay with either way. I think it looks good. All right, so let's look at this B pillar. This is interesting because it is not paint matched. It is blacked out here. It kind of gives you the illusion of the windows being more continuous from the first window to the second window. But anyways, the roof rails here are like a high glossy silver finish. Let me know if you guys would prefer had that in black. But if you want that in black, you'll be able to get that in the new Platinum 4Runner grade. From my understanding, the Platinum 4Runner is very similar to this limited grade, but it gives a lot more blacked out features. I think the wheels will be blacked out, the badges, you have the roof rails will be blacked out. And do we have a pop out running board here? Yes, we do. We see that from the limited Tacoma as well. And I love these seats. I think they contrast perfectly with this heritage blue, and holy cow, I like this attention to detail with this stripe down the middle. Very well done, Toyota. And we have perforated, and honestly, they remind me of the seats in the Land Cruiser. So that's pretty exciting. We also have that nice kind of mocha color here on the dash, on the glove box. And look at this unique design. These little triangles with circles around them. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but it has a nice texture to it as well. This has a JBL audio, of course, being on the limited grade. It's gonna have a lot of features. Yeah, you can turn off the engine start stop. Of course, you wouldn't wanna do that on the hybrid. It's really designed for that, but you can prevent that from happening and annoying you to death. So yeah, thanks for including that Toyota here on this model. Of course, heated and ventilated seats. You have the heated steering wheel button. You can suffocate the back passengers by turning off the air conditioning to them. And we do not have a head-up display in here. That is an option actually on the Platinum model. I believe it comes standard on the Platinum. This has a removable JBL speaker as well here. And yeah, it's a very nice interior. Really like this. It reminds me a lot of the Land Cruiser, and that is a good thing. Get into the back seat. Grab handle here to help you get in. More attention to detail here on the shoulder rest as well. This just makes me happy. I have a bunch of kids, you guys know, so seeing that attention to detail for the child latches is great. Not as much thought given to these more practical all-weather floor mats, but look at this fat Toyota logo they put right in the middle. We have two USB-Cs here, of course, and a 100-watt AC. Now, it's also 400 watts. I should have read it. But so if you need that additional 2,000 watts, you have that option there on the hybrids. And of course, vents back here for the passengers. So let's flip this guy forward. You can flip both seats forward. And since this is not the hybrid, and it's also not the third row, by the way, you can get third row here on the limited model. You can also get on the SR5. Those are only 2 grades out of the 9 grades to get the third row in. Where here in the United States, the Land Cruiser, for example, it is not equipped with a third row. So if you need it, you can get a Sequoia, you can get a Sienna, you can get the 2 trim levels here that offer it. There's a lot of other 3-row options in the Toyota lineup, so it's actually nice that they're still offering 3 rows. I know it's a long story about 3 rows, but it's important for a lot of people. So if you want to flip the seats forward, look at all that extra space it gives you. I might be able to sleep in here diagonally, but yeah, if you're sleeping in a 4Runner, probably attach the tent up top, right? So let's go ahead and flip this back up. And these, I like how it's adjustable for recline. That's as far as it goes back, which is fine. As I flip this down, nice cup holder here for the armrest. So let's go ahead and close this. It's sitting on a rock here. Now, if I remember correctly, the Trailhunter rear taillights had a little bit more depth to them. They had maybe some black striations that came down, but it still looks classic 4Runner. 4Runner and kind of that high polish chrome as well. I kind of like the Toyota high polish here. It's got this, like this bubble effect to it. It has kind of a nice premium feel. A totally different finish than what we have down here is what it seems like, but it could just be the lighting. But it's very nice and premium feeling. No Toyota logo back there, right? Of course, you got the Velcro on the lovely first aid kit back here. And just because it doesn't have it at the road doesn't mean it's gonna get rid of those cup holders, for example. Here's that additional AC power, up to 400 watts, JBL speaker up in the back, but you also have a couple back here on the tailgate for you to tailgate. And me at 6'1", this is a huge space to get in and out of your new truck. So very, very impressive. I haven't shown you guys one of your favorite features of the 4Runner, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, oh, well, the running boards. That might be one of my new favorite features. But let's go ahead and turn it on. And I'm going to fold down the rear window. Let's bring it back up. So let me know, what trim level are you most interested in? Obviously, we haven't seen them all yet, but from what we have available so far, the Trailhunter, the TRD Pro, or this nice, beautiful Heritage Blue Limited, let me know down below. Are you excited for the new 4Runner? Of course you are. It's built in Japan. It's got that iconic C-pillar to it. It's got the wraparound. I didn't even show you guys this. It has the wrap around window that I call like a canopy window, but it's yeah, it folds up to the top. It's got a lot of body, a lot of character, a lot of curvature to it. So there's so many details on the new 4Runner that I'm just starting to discover. And stay tuned, I will be driving it. Production starts sometime this fall. Availability will be sometime this fall as well. And stay tuned for more information when it comes to packaging, pricing, all that good stuff.